So how to make money flipping NFTs on Opensea? It is a huge question, and it is a thing that becomes more and more difficult because the supply exceeds the demand, meaning that more people are listing NFTs on Opensea and pretty much all the marketplaces compared to the people who are willing to buy those NFTs. And investing in NFTs seems quite scary for most people because they don't want to put money into something and hold it with months or even years. They prefer to flip the NFT, buying it today and reselling it maximum tomorrow up to 48 hours. This is how you can make money from flipping NFTs on Opensea and the other marketplaces, and if you're ready, let's go for it. Hello everyone, it's Petko Alexandrov. I hope you are doing well, and in today's video I'll be talking about how to make money flipping NFTs on Opensea and two more marketplaces that I've been using recently, and it works even better than Opensea for a few reasons that I will share with you in this video. And as well I will dive into details about the fees and the commissions we pay to the marketplace, because this is super important when we are flipping NFTs. Now, for the very beginners, I have to say that NFTs are non-fungible tokens. With one sentence, these are virtual pieces of art. It could be a JPEG, it could be a GIF, a short video, and if we are expanding to the metaverse, it could be really anything in a digital game, from avatar to a wearable or to a house where you are living, or a complete plot of land that you are buying or renting. And when we are talking about flipping NFTs, we mean to resell it quickly on a higher price. A few days is the maximum, probably a week, but not more. If you hold the NFT for a few weeks, month, or even years, it is considered to be investing. And when you are flipping, you are just buying and reselling on a higher price. That's the flipping. So how you do that? The most common way is to use the Opensea marketplace. And if I go to rankings, you will see some of the top collections where we can see those with the highest volume for the last 24 hours and 7 days, which is pretty useful statistic, but not enough. And some of the most popular collections are the CryptoPunks Bored API Club Sandbox, which is a metaverse, and there you can own a piece of land, you can own the avatar, you can own a game, and everything in the game is NFT. So first thing to remember is that the NFTs that have some metaverse, some implementation into a game, have more value. So stay with me here and I will explain that in more details along the video. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is the floor price. If I arrange the collections according to the floor price, on the top we will see the ones that are pretty much the most expensive. The floor price for the beginners is the lowest price in the collection. Now, if I click on the Bored API Club, which are one of my favorite, you can see that the floor price sits at nearly 49 Ethereum. And if I click on buy now, I will see just those that are on a fixed price and not on an auction. Now pay attention to that. The two that are with the lowest price at 49 Ethereum are just behind a third one that sits at 50 Ethereum. Meaning that if you buy one of the two and you resell it just 1 Ethereum higher, you will be still in the top 3 cheapest NFTs. And this is a common strategy when we are flipping NFTs. You are looking for the collection where the cheapest NFT or maximum 2 cheapest NFTs have a little bit bigger space compared to the third or the fourth NFT. In this case, we have 2 at 49 Ethereum and the third is at 50. So one more time, if you purchase one of the two and you list it for 50 Ethereum, you will be earning 1 Ethereum, all right? And the next person who is looking for the cheapest NFTs will definitely have a look at your NFT, and you have a huge potential to resell it. And one Ethereum at the current price is $4,000. It is good enough to cover the gas fees for the transaction. Now, if the collection has plenty of NFTs at the lowest price, for example 0.1, and you have 4 NFTs with 0.1, and then you have another 5 NFTs with 0.11, you don't have that space, right? If you resell an NFT for 0.01 just as a profit, you will end up losing money because you will be paying gas fees. This is why I would suggest you to look at all NFTs on the marketplace, and on the left side you have the filter where you can select the Polygon blockchain. Now, for the beginners, the Polygon blockchain has no gas fees, so if you resell it on a little bit higher price, you will be still ending up making money because you're not paying those gas fees. And the gas fees I have explained in details in another video. I will drop a link in the corner so you can get familiar with it. Now, I'll be recording more videos about how to make money flipping NFTs on Opensea, and if you don't want to miss them, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This will push my videos to a brand new audience because it is good for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much, and also a big thank you to Hi Monkeys for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Now I will go a little bit more in details about the filters because I want you to know in more details how to make money flipping NFTs on Opensea. All of the NFTs in front of me are on the Polygon blockchain. As well, on the left side you have the option to select the minimum and the maximum amount you are willing to spend. And if you're a beginner, I would suggest you to jump into those expensive NFTs because you might end up losing money. For example, a good amount to start is somewhere between $200 to $500, and assuming you like some NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain, you will have to cover gas fees as well, so probably $1,000 is a reasonable amount that you can start. And as well, if you are just starting out and you don't have an account yet, pay attention to the fact that you will have to pay a one-time gas fee when you are registering and you synchronize your account to Opensea. So let's have a look at some of the NFTs that are in the range between $200 and $500. Now I will click super randomly on any of the NFTs. The Gatekeepers, for example, I'm not familiar with that collection, but I want to see the collection, and what I'm looking at is this space that I explained between the cheapest and a little bit more expensive NFTs. And you can see over here that we don't have such a space. Those NFTs that are on a fixed price start at 0.0044, and the second one is at 0.0044, and the next one is 0.0045, 0.0045, and we have a few at that price. So if I purchase an NFT at 0.0044 and I list it again on the market at a price of 0.0045, first my profit will be just 0.0001 of Ethereum, which is almost nothing, and at the same time my NFT will go among those that are at the same price. So one more time, you need to look for the collections where there is some space between the cheapest and the third, the fourth, and the following NFTs. Now, before I show you how to make money flipping NFTs on 2 other platforms, I want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Hi Monkeys. This is a growing NFT project with a huge idea that goes beyond a simple digital piece of art. Hi Monkeys is an NFT collectible, and pay attention to this. The pre-sale minting is tomorrow on the 21st of December at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the public sale is on the next day, the 22nd of December. It is available for purchase or sale on Opensea and highmonkeys.io. Now, HiMonkeys collections are unique 10,000 NFTs and collectibles with a cold-eyed signature inspired from the concept of shifting the mood from the tense lifestyle to the relaxed lifestyle. HiMonkeys is not just a collection of NFTs like other NFTs, but also a crypto token and a play-to-earn game. Projects are coming up. And because the supply of NFTs nowadays exceeds the demand, it is super important for a project to apply the NFTs into a game. And play-to-earn games are profitable because the players can actually earn tokens and NFTs while playing the game. And you will be surprised how much money some people make from playing games. And this is why I'm looking for the HiMonkeys game to be launched. And if you check out their white paper, you will get familiar with the whole project, but what I want to pay attention to is the technology itself. So the token is ERC20 token, which is developed on the Ethereum blockchain. The NFTs and all digital collectibles are developed on the ERC721, and the gaming is on ERC1155. Below you can see what I mentioned earlier, the Polygon blockchain, where you don't pay gas fees. So definitely that is a project you want to check out because you won't be paying Ethereum gas fees if you decide to buy some of the HiMonkeys NFTs. And the best thing is to get them at the pre-sale because this is the lowest price. So thank you guys so much. With that said, let's go back to the video. And what I just said is that the pre-sale is always the lowest price because the Opensea is aftermarket. This is where people are already flipping NFTs. They are reselling them for profit. So the best thing always is to look for the NFTs on the minting date. If you like a project, you should keep an eye on the minting date. And another platform where you can give it a try flipping NFTs is Solana. It became popular in 2021 and the Sol token has exploded in value. I've been trading it, I have recorded a few videos about it, and I think it has a huge potential because it's a much better technology according to many specialists if they compare it with Bitcoin, for example. Now, what's interesting with Solana is that we have the upcoming projects right on their website. So here we have plenty of collections, but if you look at the main page at solanart.io and you scroll to the bottom, you will see that we have the coming soon on Solanart projects. And this is pretty cool because you can check out their Twitter pages, and that's not a bad idea actually if you compare how many followers they have. For example, the Solana at the moment has about 14,000 followers. The chimpfight.io, and they had minting today, has above 12,000 followers, and the crypto pets, for example, they have below 10,000 but above 6,000, which is still pretty good. So if you are looking for a project that you want to get before it's on the aftermarket, you need to join their Twitter pages and follow if the audience is actually rising or decreasing, because if the audience, if the community is rising, it means there is a huge potential in that project, and getting an NFT on the pre-sale or on the minting date might give you a great opportunity to flip it quickly on a more expensive price, especially those projects that just sell out at a date. You will end up making money because those who failed or missed the point to get an NFT on the pre-sale, they will be willing to spend some more money on the aftermarket. And here we go to the third marketplace where it becomes more and more difficult to grab an NFT on the launch date, and this is the Veve app. And if I open the website veve.me, you will see that they are suggesting you to get the app. And if I open the app right now, you will see that I can start collecting, And what's interesting is that they have comics, collectibles, and they have some drops that are coming every other day, sometimes every day at a specific hour. And in Europe, in Bulgaria where I live, it becomes more and more difficult to grab any of the NFTs. And from my subscribers and some of my students from the NFT course, I know that in the United States it is more likely to get an NFT. So what's the idea here? They're making contracts with popular brands such as Spider-Man. There are plenty of brands, X-Men, Darkhawk. There is the market where you can find many NFTs, and they are all branded. Okay, DreamWorks, we have Marvel, Universal. So what we have seen so far on Opensea or Solana is pretty much collections or art from an artist who might be popular but at the same time might not be popular. But with Veve we actually see branded NFT collections, and this increased the demand in such values that when they're dropping a new NFT collection, thousands of people are willing to buy, and the buy button just blocks. And especially in Bulgaria where I live and we don't have a super fast internet, it is really impossible to get one. And what is more interesting actually is that they have pretty cool rarities. For example, the one that just sold out today has ultra rare, rare, and common, uncommon, and secret rare. And when you are purchasing, you can see that it says when you purchase from a blind box, you will receive a random collectible from this series, and you won't know which collectible you get until after payment. So pretty much you fund the account and you are waiting on the buy button, and it shows how many seconds are left before the launch, and when it comes on the right second, if you click on it, it's just sold out because there are thousands of people, and even they list a few hundred or thousand NFTs, they're being just sold out in a second. And this is where we have a bigger demand than supply, and those NFTs, they get on the market immediately on a much higher price from what they have been listed at the first place. For example, those that are listed at $50 jump around 10 times the price immediately on the marketplace, and you will see them at 500 or even more. So if you succeed to grab any of these NFTs, you will be most likely able to flip it immediately on the marketplace a few times the price you paid. And pretty much these are the three marketplaces that I use the most when it comes to flipping NFTs for profit. If you have any other suggestions, I'll be super happy to see them in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to support my channel with a huge like. It's quite late after midnight, so I have to say thank you guys for watching and just stop the video.